They were too young, though, to remember your brother.
No, no. You know, we came from a family that my mother and father taught us we would always be there for each other.
Hmm.
At 6 o'clock, you had no excuse. You better be at that table.
Well, the notion of being there for each other has now, I understand, led you on a lifelong journey
Right.
of getting information about your brother. What happened, where he ended up, how closure. Is that correct?
Yeah, right.
Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Well, what can I say? When I left nursing, I finished nursing, took my exam, and was a registered nurse. And I wanted to go into the military because I could see the nurses and how they look so special, you know. But they weren't saying very nice things about women that followed the military.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam was taking combat training at Walterboro. And I went down to talk to him because he was in the military. We really felt pretty good when Sam told us something it was so. Even though he was a younger one,
Okay.
he was. So I went down there and met the nurses, met my brother's classmates, and all he had to tell me was, listen, if you want to go into the military, go. Just remember everything Mom and Dad taught you, and you won't have any trouble. And that was his advice. I came back to New York and signed up, and in 2 weeks I got a telegram to report. I really didn't think it was going to happen that fast.
So you were in the military then as a nurse?
Oh, yes.
Okay, as a nurse.
Oh, yes.
And that's where you got the notice that your brother was missing.
No. Because, see, I had already been accepted in the nurse corps. And what do I say now? Sam was down in Tuskegee at the time. And from there, I went into Camp McCoy, Wisconsin for 6 weeks of orientation for the military. It's no, and from the from Camp McCoy, Wisconsin, we were assigned to Fort Devens in Lowell,
Mm-hmm.
Massachusetts.
Right.
36, we were the first black nurses that weren't sent to Fort Huachuca, where the nurses that were there that were black were assigned to take care of the black soldiers and the POWs.
And the POWs.
That's right, they got first.
Blacks and POWs.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then, but you had kept up with your brother.
Oh, yes.
And where was his first assignment? Do you remember?
Ooh. Oh, it's been years.
Okay.
It's been years.
A less hard a question then. He left combat training. He had left Tuskegee, left combat training, I assume, and was assigned overseas.
Right, to Italy.
Okay. And how long did he fight over there? Do you have any idea? Do you remember?
Well, okay, if I could just check. I would say he went over that fall. That would be the fall of 44.
Mm-hmm.
And his incident occurred April 12th, 45. So that's a short time for him.
You were getting news back where you were about the war and about, did you get news about fallen soldiers, fallen airmen then?
No, yeah, Sam was very special. He would not upset my mother that way, you know. And he would say where he was going to visit or something like that, but never told her anything.
You, among the classmates that you remember of Sam's, do you have any idea how many of them are still about or died during
you
that time?
need George Hardy, because George gave me a picture with everybody's name on it that I
Okay.
have since we came here to the convention.
Well, if I can start this equipment. Here it goes. There.
Because of his class. Oh,
Do you remember
Armstrong, yeah.
Brewer? Now, these are
No, I
all
don't.
fallen soldiers.
Yeah, no, I don't remember him. I don't know. No. Calhoun, no. Then they weren't all pilots, right?
No, they were all pilots. All of these were pilots, as I understand it.
I've seen that Falkland's name before, but I don't know him. No. Of course, you've got 68 to go through.
Well, you had about 40 now.
Aha! Yeah, that's him. You know, there was 6 boys and 6 girls in my
your
family.
What's going through your mind as you're seeing these pictures?
Well, I'm wishing that, I wish I had known him. Wish I had known him. Because they were very special men. But you know, the nicest thing about it, when we were stationed at Lockburn, his classmates were there and they adopted me as their little sister.
Did they?
Yeah, so I got so that I knew most of the GIs that were there. No, I don't know those young men at all. Mac Ross. Mac Ross is a wife. Oh, come on, Nancy.
Had you been in contact with her since?
Oh, sure. We met last year. Let's see, last year. That I hadn't seen her in 64 years. Would you believe
Okay.
that? I went to the University of that awful? I can't even remember. I'm so tired. Where Dr. Jackson had her.
Oh, you see University of California, Riverside?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw her, I hadn't seen her in 64 years.
Mm. What about Armstrong? You said you saw...
Oh, Armstrong,
Yeah.
his sister was a student nurse
Mhm.
where we went to
Okay.
school at Lincoln School for Nurses. And other than talking from one nurse to another, we really didn't become that friendly, you know, but always the brother came up, you know.
And what about Brewer?
Brewer,
Yeah.
don't know a Brewer.
Oh, okay. All right. Tell me a little bit more about your story. Now, you were this trailblazing nurse, black nurse, during World War II.
I was doing what I wanted to do, and I mean, come on, that was my goal.
Okay.
And it was very easy for me, and you know, I was always assigned alone, never another nurse or another person with me. I was always,
Why is that?
I don't know, never really, never thought about it until, maybe a couple of years ago when one of the nurses was saying who she was stationed with, and I said to her, how can that be? I didn't have anybody with me.
Mm.
And really realized that that's right. I never worked with another nurse.
Well, so then you had a certain swagger then, evidently, about yourself that...
The little, yeah, I was, 110 pounds and 5 feet tall.
little bantam rooster type.
That's right. That's
But then
right.
there seems to be a tenacity that's around your family, in and around finding information out about your brother. And that's interesting to a lot of people, perhaps who would like to go on that journey but don't know how. Grandchildren looking back at Grandpa, for instance, and they are the ones that ends up being the historian of the family. What advice do you have for those kinds of people in terms of closure, in terms of getting information, in terms of legacy?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I think I'm very quiet in going about doing things. And I think this notoriety does not belong to me. You know, even with the little white GIs, some of them were as ornery as they could be. But I would concentrate on them. That's right.
Help them.
I sure did. And as soon as I could get them elevated or give them a promotion, wasn't anything they wouldn't do for me. And
Well, Nancy Lieutenant Colon, congratulations on a life of service.
thank you.
Absolutely. You reached the rank of captain,
Major.
major. Well, Major Colon, congratulations. Thank you for the service. And some of us will keep this movement going to get more information, get it back to you, and to the other fallen 66 family and friends.
Yeah, well, you know, I really didn't help you or couldn't help you. We
Oh, but
just
you
go
did.
from day to day, you
Yes,
know,
yes.
and love people, love life, and it's so easy. It is so easy.
Well, thank you. Thank you kindly. And if we can have your permission to come back to you, when we have more facts and figures to lay
Absolutely.
out, we'd appreciate it.
Absolutely, and you know what, I'll see the notebook that I have that Smith sent to me. You might like to see it.
Well, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'd appreciate
I'll
that.
try to take care of that when I go home.
Okay, we'll be in contact.
Of course, this is my time to be pruning and taking care of flowers.
I understand that, but we have it on tape that you said that we could go further with this. Therefore, be careful what you say.
And take care of flowers to get that notebook.
You're right. I think you're very right. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, listen,